An exciting development this morning in what is expected to be a game changer for carbon neutral transportation. The Ocean Flyer Seaglider prototype is a fully electric craft and it's just completed its maiden flight. It is very cool, and joining us is CEO of Ocean Flyer, Shah Aslam. Good morning, Shah. Now look, it's like a plane but acts like a boat. So how does this Ocean Flyer work?
Absolutely. So look, it starts on its hull when it's parked dockside. As it gains speed, it lifts on its foils, and then from there, as it further gains speed, the wings take over and starts to fly. At this stage, the 12-seater will be flying at 10 meters above the surface of the water, and it'll be touching speeds of 300 kilometers an hour.
Whew, it's just completed its maiden test successfully. Congratulations on that. It's very cool. What did the maiden test, though, entail?
Well, this was the first time that they were actually taking the wing and ground effect and testing it out. So this first flight was a massive step forward towards getting seagliders operating in New Zealand. And for REGENT now, the next step is to focus on the full-scale prototype.
How nerve-wracking and exciting, that emotional roller coaster doing that maiden test, and the fact it was successful.
Absolutely. Look, I think it was both nerve-wracking and exciting. To see the culmination of 2 years worth of work, the engineers, the designers, all the efforts they've put in, all the support they've received, and to see it take off, I think it was just mesmerizing.
Here's a question. You just said it goes, I think, 300 k's an hour. How safe are these babies? Talk us through the safety of them.
Oh, look, they'll be safe. With the technology we have these days around avionics, around sensors, around cameras, they'll be fully autopilot. There'll be two-pilot operation. But technology will be flying these things, and they've got a lot of safety measures built into it. And I think the beauty of these things is that they've brought a concept from back in the day, merged it with modern technology to provide a safe machine.
Very good. Now, you've just had a successful maiden flight. When will they launch here in New Zealand, and how many of these planes will we have at launch time?
Well, we've placed a total order for 25 seagliders, 15 of the smaller ones and 10 of the larger ones, which can take up to 100 people. We're expecting at this stage to see the first 5 seagliders arrive into New Zealand by the end of 2025 or beginning of 2026. So not far away, just around the corner.
Fantastic. And how many people can you fit in it? And is it quite comfortable once you're inside?
It will be. Look, it will be comfortable. We can fit 12 people in the first 15 seagliders. The second set of 10 seagliders will have 100 seating capacity. And look, as far as I know, they'll be more comfortable than the aircraft. They'll be spacious. They'll be affordable. And, it'll be an efficient mode of operation operating out of the ports.
Now, you just mentioned affordable. How much will we be paying for a ride in one of these when they launch in New Zealand?
Well, to give you some examples, I think from Auckland to Whangarei, you're looking at about a 30-minute flight, which will cost about $30. If you were to turn the corner and go from Auckland to Tauranga, you're looking at about a 45-minute flight, which will cost up to about $45. So not going to break the bank at all. That's
pretty good. Speaking to Kiwis, you obviously would have put feet on the ground and an ear to the ground on how Kiwis feel about this. What sort of response are you getting? Are we keen to get on board?
I think we're getting a lot of positive responses from people. I think people are keen to try this new mode of transport. I think it will be exhilarating. It will be safe. It's only 10 meters above the surface. It'll be efficient. And look, this goes back to the first time, aircraft took to the skies back in the 1940s and the 1950s. They started, the Wright brothers, at 40 miles an hour, and then the Concorde took it up to almost 1,300 miles an hour. So I think it's the evolution of transportation. I think since the 1960s, the last transportation mode that was developed were the helicopters. This is the new thing. I think this is a historical day, not just for us or REGENT. I think globally, there's 40% of the world's population is coastal based. 75% of the population is in New Zealand is coastal based. I think it just makes sense.
And obviously for the environment. Talk us again through the benefits for our environment.
Absolutely. Look, the government has set an ambitious target of 2050 carbon neutral, and we feel we owe it to the country to help where we can. Fully electric, so fully sustainable. We anticipate to reduce emissions of up to 1 million carbon emissions on an annual basis once the full 25 seagliders are up and operating. So I think we'll make a significant impact and significantly contribute towards a carbon neutral 2050 New Zealand.
Oh, good on you, Shah. What happens though? We just had Bernadine giving us the weather and it's not looking that flash. So what happens when the weather isn't flash? Can these plain sea gliders cope in that?
Look, they will. There's still a lot of testing to be done, but at this stage, the result in the data is showing that as long as the aircrafts or the larger ferries are able to operate, we will continue to operate. And in cases where there's extreme rough seas, you will see all modes of transportation, the ferries, the aircraft being grounded, and I think we'll be following suit there as well.
So have you actually sat in it and gone for a little fly in this year, Shah, and what was that like?
No, I personally haven't yet, but I was fortunate enough in April when I was in Tampa to see their testing and development center. And I think just seeing this thing operate in smooth conditions and rough conditions, I think it brought home some of the questions you've just asked that, look, in most weather conditions, it will operate, it will be safe, it will be fast, it will be efficient, and most of all, I think it will be affordable. So when we talk about connecting regions around New Zealand, bringing access to services such as healthcare and education to some of the smaller regions, I think this is the way forward.
Good on you. That is fantastic. CEO of Ocean Flyer, Shah Aslam, thank you so much for joining us today. What do you reckon, guys? Would you get on one?
I like it. I think it covers two really important things. One is the time. So 45 minutes to get to Tauranga for $45. That's pretty good.
Not bad.